Hello everyone, my name is Asyrafchazz and welcome back to yet another One Piece card game video. I hope you guys have been enjoying your openings of OP-01 Romance Dawn. It's been about a week since its release, but now we are going to be taking a look at the prices of some of these cards, at least the standout cards from this set, and see where the market has decided to settle on a week after release. If you want to look at the prices of the cards, because as of now we are only at the Japanese release, you can check out websites like Big Web or YYT or UU-Tay. They are similar to like a Japanese marketplace. Think of it as a Japanese TCG player, but don't quote me on that, where you can kind of have a rough gauge on the pricing of the cards from OP-01. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a like and subscribing if you want to keep up to date with more One Piece card game content. I think moving forward, I will be doing like pricing videos for each set 1 week after the release, just to kind of see how it goes, and if there's any standout cards, we'll talk about it again in a separate video. Now, this is by no means a pricing guide for the cards. You can take a look. I left the links to both sites in the description below. You can take a look and draw your own conclusion from that. I am just going to tell you my experience in seeing this site, as well as what the prices have been settling on the secondary market, at least here in Singapore, okay? So take it with a pinch of salt, and it's very different from each market moving forward. Now, because this is a new series that I've been intending to do for every single set moving forward, I think it's best to kind of welcome this series with a brand new intro. So roll the clip.
Why do we spend so much of our money on shiny little pieces of cardboard?
Welcome to the first ever episode of Why Do We Spend So Much of Our Money on Shiny Little Pieces of Cardboard. My name is Asyrafchazz and I'm your host for today's show. Now, the prices of these cards have come down a bit since the initial release. Of course, the first weekend release of OP-01 was absolutely insane, with cards going for insane amount of money, but now prices have been slowly dwindling down a little bit because more supply has entered the market. If you are intending to buy these boxes, there is going to be a reprint coming in August, but don't expect too much of it. I'm just telling y'all that maybe there's a reprint, more supply will enter the market, and maybe the prices will dwindle down even further. So let's take a look at some of the standout cards. But first, I want to talk about some of the rares first. Congratulations to all the players that want to just pick up singles to put in your decks. If you take a look at all the rare lists, it is actually not so bad, with the most expensive card being Nami at 400 yen, which is about $4. I'm just going to do a rough comparison between the yen and the Singapore dollar, which is like $1 equal to 100 yen. And the rest of them are pretty affordable, settling between like 100, 200, 300 yen. So if you are looking to pick up some rares for the decks, this is a good sign for the player base, because it seems like the rares aren't that expensive and some of the decks do need some of these cards, so you're set on that. However, it's a different story if you're talking about the alternate arts of the rares. The most expensive alternate art from the rare slot is, without a doubt, Nami. Nami is currently sitting at 14,800 yen, which is about $140 to $150. But the good news is, from my experiences of seeing it on the secondary market, I've seen it go for as low as about $90 to $100. So I think the market will eventually settle around $90 to $100 or even lower. So that's good news for any Nami collectors out there. It's quite surprising that UU-Tay has put it at about $148 or $150. Nami and a lot of the alternate arts from the One Piece card game suffer from what I call the waifu tax. The waifu tax is tried and tested and coined by yours truly. It is, if the card is potentially a waifu, the more expensive the card will be. It is tried and tested. It has been the case for every single card game out there. I mean, take a look at White Schwartz, even like Pokemon with their full art trainer cards. As long as your card is a waifu, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more for it. And Nami is a perfect example of this. However, if you're looking to pick up the rest of the alternate arts, okay, maybe Alti is also a little bit high at maybe like $69 to $70. But I've seen it go for a little lot less. So everything that you see on UU-Tay right now is kind of like the high end of the price, and the market has kind of settled in at slightly low. I'm not really sure what the ratios are please do not quote on me. This is not like financial advice in any sort of way. I'm just giving you a rough guide so you don't get cheated on when you want to buy the cards for yourselves. Now let's take a look at all of the super rares. The super rares are kind of holding steady, but surprisingly, there's one card that has shot up exponentially over the past week. Now, just a couple of days ago, Zoro was actually sitting at about 980 yen, which is the same as the super rare Luffy. So slightly less than $10, which is like, okay, that's pretty good. But Yu Yu Tei has it listed at $24 or $24 to $25. However, the secondary market still agree that it's about 10 to 15 right now. It is extremely strong. Super rare Zoro, the Rush Zoro is definitely really strong card because of the emergence of the power that is the red green law as well as the red Zoro Rush deck. Of course, Zoro is going to take a little bit of a boost. But before that, Boa Hancock was actually the most expensive card. But now it has since come down to about 1,480 yen, which is about $14 to $15. Boa Hancock is a powerful card indeed. I do not doubt that at all. It also suffers from waifu tax, which we will see later on. And another card that is also kind of up there is the 5-cost Trafalgar Law, also very necessary in the red-green law deck. If you are intending to make that deck but you don't have the pieces, take a look at your secondary market, see what people are selling it for, and use this website as kind of like a guide, a range of prices that you can pay for, but not a hard guide, okay? Now let's take a look at the super rare alternate arts. Of course, the most expensive, not surprisingly, is Boa Hancock. Now, when I was checking the site just a couple of days ago, she was sitting at 17,800 yen, but now she has since come down to 14,800 yen, 140 to $150. I've seen it go for slightly less, maybe about 120 to 130, but I think Boa Hancock will still hold steady. It is a popular card and it is a waifu, unfortunately, so people who want to collect it for collection purposes, because Boa Hancock is your favorite character, it is definitely one that a lot of people will want to pick up. A few other standout cards are indeed the Monkey D. Luffy alternate art as well as the Zoro alternate art, both of them sitting pretty at 5,980 yen, which is about 59 to about 60 something dollars. This is kind of like an accurate pricing. I've seen Zoro go as low as $40 to $50. I bought my copy at 40 Singapore dollars, so it's slightly less in USD. And for Luffy, it was starting out at about 70 to 80, but now he has since come down. So that's a good indicator that, you know, all the hype prices are slowly going away and the prices are slowly coming down. So even for collectors in the future, if you're intending to pick up just the alternate arts without opening up the boxes, you know, sometimes it's more worth to just pick up the alternate art straight instead of trying your luck. Although it is very fun to open this, I would suggest that if you are intending to open the boxes, do it because you're a player, or unless you're really trying your luck to chase after some of the higher rarity cards. But if you are a collector and you just want to collect the really beautiful alternate arts, I would highly suggest to just buy singles. Where you can buy them, I'm not sure. It depends on location. Right now in Singapore, the secondary market, there's a lot of like marketplaces or like WhatsApp groups or even like stores or local game stores that are selling the singles. If you're overseas, you might have to look at either you know, YYT, Big Web, even eBay, or even if you can get in touch with some of the local sellers in the Asia release, check your Facebook groups. That's where you can buy the singles. But do not fret, the English release is coming at the end of the year, so you can always expect to buy the cards then. It's a matter of preference at this point. If you want to buy the Japanese cards versus you want to buy the English cards, I do not have any advice for you. It's very heavily dependent on the individual. I am collecting Japanese cards and opening the Japanese cards because my area is playing with the Japanese cards. And we do not play with the English cards. But if you're in the US, if you're in Europe, you might have to kind of consider how big of a fan are you? Do you want to get the cards early, or would you be willing to wait? That's something that only you can decide for yourself. Next, we take a look at the secret rares. Now, these are just the normal artworks of the Shanks and Yamato. They are kind of sitting pretty. Yamato is about what I expected, about $70 to $80. I've seen it go for as low as 60, 65. if you're buying it like in multiples, but 70 is where the market has kind of settled on Yamato. However, for Shanks, prices just boo, because people realize that you don't really need a lot of Shanks, at least for playability. The max number of copies you might have is maybe 2 or 3. And the market has kind of decided it's around like $40 to $50, but I have seen some Shanks go as low as like $20 to $30, depending on how fast the seller just wants to let it go. Shanks has slowly dwindled down in price, unfortunately, but he is not out of the race yet. Let's talk about the parallel artworks of the secret rares now, starting with Shanks. Shanks is sitting at, on UUT, it's at 14,800 yen, which is about 140 and 150. But the secondary market does not agree, because I've seen it go as low as $70. Who knew that this Shanks, at least this version of Shanks, is kind of dwindling down, which is I'm kind of okay with, because I do want to pick up a copy because I do not have this card. If it settles down at $60 or $70, I'm perfectly okay with it. I just want my copy. After that, it can go up for like it. But the alternate art of the secret rare Yamato is kind of on UUT. You can see it's like 39,800 yen, which is what, $390 to $400, which is highly out there, and I don't think it's that accurate. And maybe because it's like a big box store, that's why they're selling it for that pricing. But it has slowly since come down. I have seen the secret rare alternate art version of Yamato go for as low as $180, and I think that's where the market will probably settle on, 170 to 180, depending on maybe like condition or how fast the seller wants to let it go. And lastly, let's talk about the biggest chase card of OP-01, which is none other than the comic Shanks. YYT has it listed at 198,000 yen. This was like the price. This was like the price upon release. I'm not sure why it's still at this price, at least at the time that I'm recording this video, 31st July, by the way. So upon release, there was one copy that actually sold for a crazy amount. I think it was like $1,400 or something, which is insane. But it has since slowly dropped down. I've seen it go for 1,100, so I've seen it go for 800, so. And recently on Facebook, I saw someone selling it for $700, and it was indeed sold as well. So if you are a collector and you are chasing after these high valuable cards, if you can survive 1 week of hype, it will definitely pay off, because these prices have slowly come down. I am still expecting the comic rare Shanks to settle in at about $700 to $800, just because of the scarcity of it, just because of how difficult it is to get this copy of Shanks due to its rarity. It's probably going to stay at around this price. I'm hoping that it will come down slightly, but I doubt that it will drop below 500. If it does, I mean, good. Let me be proven wrong. Let me take the hit. I'm good with that, because then I can buy my copy, okay? The important thing to take away from the first week of release is that the prices have slowly come down, and it is a good time to start playing this game if you are a player, because rares and the normal version of the super rares are not that crazy expensive. And if you are a collector, the alternate arts, at least for the non-popular characters as well as the non-waifu characters, are kind of doing okay. If you get a Boa Hancock and maybe a Nami alternate art from the boxes that you open, then you can probably spend the rest of your money just by picking up the alternate art singles from the secondary market, which is what I am going to do. Well, there you go. Just a kind of summary of the prices. Now, I just want to reiterate that this is 1 week after release. This is what I'm seeing on YYT on the 31st of July. So prices are definitely bound to change in the future. If you come back to this video, if you're from the future and you come back to this video and the prices are all wrong, it's because the prices are at this level on this day. This is not meant as a pricing guide. I do not want this video to be a pricing guide. My purpose of making this video is to kind of educate you on how to check the prices, and also how the cards are settling in within the seller's market as well as the secondary market, so that when you go and buy your cards, you can be kind of more aware and more well informed when making your purchases. Do not get ripped off. I'm doing this for your sake, save your wallets, it's okay. And for those of you who did not get a chance to open OP-01, do not fret, another reprint is coming in August, but be sure to check with your local game stores for pre-orders because boxes were swept up after 1 week. I couldn't even go to a store and just buy loose packs because there's no more open boxes anymore, at least to the stores that I went to. So I don't know if that's a healthy sign, is that a bad sign? I'm not sure. I just hope that the popularity of this game increases. A lot of players have been playing so far. I've been enjoying the OP-01 meta a lot by watching people play. Everyone's posting deck lists, so maybe I'll do some deck list videos in the future. But I hope you found this video useful, and if you enjoyed it, please consider giving a like and subscribing if you want to keep up to date with more One Piece card game content. Well, that's it from me for today, and I hope you guys have a good rest, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!